Let's go, Blooket. We're going to see a video. Contest of candy rich.
So, the Blooket contest of candy has been going on for 3 years now. In the previous 2 years, the contest was based on a Blooket game mode called Candy Quest, where you answer questions to open pumpkins and earn candy. In 2019, the contest was just whoever could earn the most candy in a couple of weeks. We only had a few thousand users back then, but even with that, the scores got pretty out of hand, as people could just play hour-long games and get ridiculous amounts of candy. So, in 2020, to adjust for this, I made the contest whoever could earn the most candy in a 7-minute game. Well, Blooket had gained more popularity by then and hackers took over this contest. First, learning that you could pause the page's JavaScript to stop the timer for however long you wanted, and second, just figuring out how to manipulate the score directly. Once again, hackers had ruined something great, and because I wasn't confident I could make Candy Quest 100% hack-proof this year, I had another idea, which created a whole new set of problems. My main goal was to make something where hackers would have no advantage, so it had to be something totally new. While I don't play World of Warcraft often, there is one cool experience that I've been obsessed with. There's this mount called Lucid Nightmare, and to get it you have to run around the world solving a bunch of puzzles. Now, the first 5 of these puzzles have already been solved by the community and are therefore quite boring. However, for the last real puzzle, you have to fly to a tomb in the Mists of Pandaria expansion where you click a urn to enter the Endless Halls. This is a maze of 64 randomly generated rooms where your goal is to collect 5 orbs and deliver them to certain spots in the maze. But what makes this maze great is that there are a few tricks that make it very difficult to map out and traverse. The Endless Halls took me about an hour and a half to complete, making a really awful map to help me track where I was. I did have a lot of fun doing this maze though, and thought that more people should get to experience something like it, but perhaps a slightly harder version. So, for the contest of candy, I decided to create my own version of the Endless Halls, adding some extra features and increasing the number of rooms. I went ahead and created the map in Paint, as you can tell, mainly by just drawing a bunch of lines around a square grid. This way everyone has the same map, and no one gets lucky with an easy randomly generated map. Now, the way these mazes work is with 4 main tricks, all of which make it harder to map and track where you are. The first trick is the use of side portals. To understand this, I've cleaned up the map and added the spooky ghost to track where a player is. Now see, instead of solid walls on the sides of the maze, we mostly have portals. You can see when a player enters one side, they teleport to the corresponding colored portal on the opposite side. Next, middle portals make it so not every door in the middle of the maze is real either. There are 5 portal doors that will teleport you to a corresponding portal in a different part of the maze. Now the next one's a bit confusing, but basically the player will never see a room with 4 exits. When you enter a 4-way intersection, you will only have the chance to go to the door across the room. This means if you enter from the bottom, the only 2 doors are the top and bottom doors. If you enter from the side, the only 2 doors are the left and right doors. And finally, 3 of the rooms aren't rooms at all. Once you enter them, you are randomly teleported to another room in the maze, which can be extremely confusing. Now this map is hard to follow itself, but all the player gets to see is this. Pages and pages of randomly assorted doors, with no indication of when they go through a portal or teleporter room. The way you escape is you go through the maze and collect 5 candies, but you can only hold 1 at a time. For each candy you have to take it to the exit and drop it off, and once you have all 5, the exit door appears. Now to transform this into the contest, we did a race to see who could escape first. I threw together a quick leaderboard so we could also track how many candies people had turned in real time. So finally, on October 24th at 3 PM, the event began, and the leaderboard started to fill up. Now, as I've explained, the maze was pretty complicated, so I really thought it might take users a couple of hours to complete. But 3 candies in 12 minutes is pretty impressive. I mean, this was probably just luck though, so... Wait. Oh. We have a winner? And a lot of winners? And... now it's over. What just happened? Okay, so for me to verify the winners for this competition, I created a tool that tracked the player's every move so we could rewatch their path. Here's an example of me going through the maze while looking at a map. You can see that I go to the rooms with candy, and then back to the exit room with the green circle to turn it in. While this tool doesn't show me picking up the candy, we can still use it to get a general idea of how I was moving around. Of course, we wouldn't expect a normal player to have this movement. As I was talking to some of the top 25 winners, none of them had any real strategy. It was all kind of just randomly clicking doors. In fact, nearly everyone who tried to create a map, as I suggested, got set back In fact, these teleporter rooms probably supported random movement because they helped you get unstuck from different parts of the map. As a result, Ace of Spades got lucky and finished in 360 moves. But if we look at another player, named Ryan, they got way less lucky. See, there was one more thing I didn't take into consideration. In my last event, Pokemon Are Cool, we had around 1,200 players. However, for this event, we had a little over 10,000. Candy. So as we can see, all of the results were legitimate, and I probably should have seen them coming, and got prizes. Well, that leaves 10,070 losers, who had just spent an hour clicking on doors. And guess how that went over? We eventually had to lock the channels to stop the spam, but that didn't stop hundreds of DMs. So, it's safe to say that people did not like the event, and that's totally understandable. I hope this video kind of explains what I was going for, but also shows that I've learned a lot. I understand why it sucked, and I'm planning on doing a lot better for future events. Also, to all the people who are sending me messages of encouragement, I really do appreciate it, but I'm not too worried about all the hate.
Okay. Go to market. It don't have October box. Okay, now color. Yeah. Yes, look it. And no candy case. Go to bed. The gold case. Okay, now. And this October box looks. No. Okay. The pumpkin red is uncommon. The stone monster red is uncommon. And hunt the pumpkin. This not on the pumpkin. This Poke pumpkin. This Poke mommy. This Poke ghost.